In the high-stakes world of the NBA, where athleticism meets business, social influence, and legacy, few stand with as much quietly simmering power as Jaylen Marselles Brown. As of now, Brown is widely regarded not just as a top-tier shooting guard/small forward for the Boston Celtics, but as a cultural force, a living testament to what can happen when raw talent meets mind, heart, and purpose. Financially, Brown's journey mirrors his on-court trajectory. After securing a major long-term contract extension with the Celtics, his earnings, including salary, endorsements, and business ventures, put his net worth in the ballpark of tens of millions of dollars. This wealth affords him comfort and freedom, but more importantly, it fuels investments in his vision, social impact, personal growth, and generational change. Yet Brown remains much more than a ledger line. He is a living story of struggle transformed into strength, of talent refined through discipline, of identity broadened by ambition. To know Jaylen Brown is to see not just a basketball star, but a modern Renaissance man, balancing dunks and drives with philosophy, activism, and quiet confidence. Early life. Jaylen Brown entered this world on October 24, 1996, born in Marietta, Georgia. From the outside, such a beginning might seem ordinary, but for Brown it would become the root of everything, a place where early challenge fused with early inspiration. His father, while not always a constant presence, once pursued the grueling world of professional heavyweight boxing. That legacy of fighting, discipline, resilience, cast a long shadow. His mother, a strong-willed educator, became the bedrock of his upbringing, teaching not just reading and math, but the value of purpose, identity, and self-worth. Growing up with an older brother, Brown learned early the subtle codes of loyalty, defense, and ambition. He saw pain, he saw struggle, but he also saw possibility. In a home shaped by brokenness and resolve, Brown inherited a yearning to be more than what any circumstance tried to make him. Athletics, especially basketball, emerged as a language he could speak fluently. But even then, it was never just about the game. It was about using the game to reshape his story. At school, that resolve manifested fast. With long arms, quick first steps, and a surprising combination of speed and strength, Brown started turning heads at the high school level. Every rebound, every drive to the basket was a statement that this kid, quiet, watchful, intense, meant business. But not for fame, for freedom. Through those adolescent seasons, the hallways overheard something beyond slam dunks and highlight film plays. Debates about books, about history, identity, culture. Conversations that spoke of purpose beyond applause. Brown's mother rivaled any coach in reinforcing that education would matter as much as effort. Not many teenage basketball stars embody serious teenage thought leadership. Brown did. College career. When it came time to choose a college, Brown bypassed flashy sports programs purely for visibility. Instead, he went where identity, growth, and autonomy mattered. The University of California, Berkeley, Cal. That decision in itself was a message that basketball could be the vehicle, but not the destination. At Cal, Brown transformed from high school phenom to a two-dimensional player blossoming into a three-dimensional human being. On the court, his freshman season was impressive. Solid scoring, rebounding, flashes of defensive tenacity. Off the court, he immersed himself in philosophy readings, cultural studies, and self-education. Friends and teammates recall long nights where the topics ranged from history to language, from social justice to personal identity. He averaged a respectable stat line in his lone collegiate season, enough to get NBA scouts looking, yet more importantly, enough to affirm his readiness, not just for the league, but for life. And so he declared for the 2016 NBA draft, not with arrogance, but with calm assurance. I'm ready, not just to compete, but to impact. In that moment, Brown carried more than points per game or vertical leap. He carried a quiet belief that every stage, from high school gym to pro arena, could be used for growth, representation, and change. Professional career. Draft night 2016 marked not just a career milestone, but a birth of a new narrative. Selected third overall by the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown stepped into a franchise rich in history, steep expectations, and championship dreams. The green jersey wasn't just a uniform, it was a mantle. His rookie season revealed glimpses, flashes of athleticism, potential defense, athletic versatility. But Brown was never satisfied with glimpses. Each summer, each off-season, he immersed himself in lean muscle gain, film study, and the grind of transformation. Slowly, inexorably, he evolved, from role player to starter, from starter to cornerstone. By his third and fourth seasons, Brown had emerged as a two-way threat. Razor-sharp drives, smooth mid-range game, at times reliable three-point shooting, plus locked-in defense. He filled an essential role for the Celtics. But still, something else hid under the jersey. When the opportunity for a major contract arrived, one reserved for stars who transform teams, Brown accepted. And with that came pressure. To perform, to lead, to deliver not just stats, but identity. By 2023 to 2024, when critics debated narratives and numbers, Brown responded with silent work, letting results speak. He helped push the Celtics deep into playoffs, absorbing pressure, absorbing media scrutiny, absorbing the weight of expectation. But he also emerged a leader, not loud, but firm, not flashy, but consistent, not just talented, but intentional. Every step, every jumper, every defensive rotation, measured, purposeful. What's more, Brown understood that playing in Boston meant inheriting more than a legacy of championships. It meant engaging with fans, history, social issues. It meant being more than a scoring machine. And, in that arena, he's been equally committed. By late 2025, Jaylen Brown isn't just a centerpiece of a storied franchise. He's an embodiment of what it means to be an athlete with agency. In basketball, business, identity, community, personal life. Off-court, Brown remains somewhat of an enigma. Private, introspective, always striving for more than immediate gratification. He has no public record of marriage or children. Instead, his commitment lies elsewhere, in self-education, activism, community upliftment, and investing in ideas. Brown often speaks about identity, race, empowerment, not as celebrity talking points, but as personal convictions. He pursues reading, research, even languages. He spends time exploring history, philosophy, culture. For him, personal growth doesn't stop when the final buzzer sounds. If anything, it expands. Through selective philanthropy, mentorship, and support for underserved communities, Brown looks not just to build buildings or bank accounts, but to build empowerment. He sees social mobility not as charity, but as justice. He's also known to guard his inner circle resolutely. Family, a few trusted friends, and inner circle confidants. People who understand both his drive and his calm. To outsiders, that might seem distant. But to Brown, it's intentional self-care, preserving mental space and clarity in a world built on noise. In public interviews and social media moments, Brown has sometimes alluded to spirituality, introspection, morality. But he doesn't broadcast personal beliefs for applause. He carries them quietly, with dignity, leaving the projection to others. House tour and car collection. Fame and fortune often come with visible trappings. For Brown, those trappings exist, but they're chosen, not flaunted. His home life is centered more on peace, privacy, and reflection than on paparazzi bait or ostentation. He owns a residence away from city clamor, offering space, quiet, and reprieve. The home is, by design, a refuge, a place where he can decompress, read, rest, reflect. The decor, furnishings, and location reflect comfort and calm, not glamour-seeking. As for vehicles, yes, a successful NBA career affords a certain level of mobility and style. Brown's collection leans toward classy, comfortable vehicles that fit a lifestyle of discretion more than flash. Nothing screams show off, but everything speaks refinement. Importantly, Brown seems more invested in what those assets provide, not status, but stability. A quiet home, a smooth ride, a foundation to recharge and refocus. What separates Brown isn't only athleticism or earning power. It's mindset. He has spoken privately and publicly about identity, about being more than a statistic, more than a headline, more than a dunk. He sees himself and encourages other athletes, especially young black men, to see themselves as multidimensional beings, capable of thought, influence, leadership, intellectual growth. He believes in education, not just degree-driven, but self-driven. In a society too quick to pigeonhole athletes, Brown challenges the norm that a ball player can also be a scholar, a business owner, a community leader, a thinker. He believes in community, not as a one-time donation, but as long-term engagement, not as charity, but as uplift. He hopes that the next generation in underserved neighborhoods sees more than basketball, sees possibility, purpose, agency. That their dreams aren't defined by circumstances, but by aspiration. And most of all, he believes in self-actualization, in being more today than you were yesterday, not for applause, but for integrity. Because Brown represents something rare in professional sports, a refusal to be boxed into identity, into expectation, into stereotype. He stands at the intersection of athletic glory and intellectual pursuit. He uses his platform not solely for personal gain, but for greater purpose. He matters because he represents possibility. That the son of modest means from Marietta, Georgia, with broken parental structure, limited resources, can rise to professional prominence. But not just by talent, by discipline, by intentional growth, by purpose. He matters because he holds contradictions with grace, power and thoughtfulness, aggression and empathy, celebrity and humility. He pursues excellence, but defines excellence not by touchdowns or dunks, but by growth, impact, and legacy. Whether you care about basketball, community, identity, or culture, Jaylen Brown's story resonates. That's not because of how many points he scores, but because of who he is becoming.